Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited, highly anticipated, it had a season to remember, and it's only going to get better with the coach for UMSL, Stephen. Ladies and gentlemen, I will let him do the honors.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. Excited to chat with you today about our great season and our student athletes at UMSL and kind of what it means for the future for us.
And not to get into, you don't have to tell me your social security number, but what is your name, Coach?
Yeah, Stephen Cavallo.
Remember that, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm telling you, Washington U is over there, but UMSL's there, and I guarantee I feel it coming. I feel it coming, Coach.
You've got me pumped up right now, Kevin. When's our next game? Sadly, you have to wait till March or April, but I'm excited.
Yes, and you get it. You're a fun guy. That's how soccer guys are. You got a sense of humor, and you realize this is about you putting your program out there on Front Street, and.
Yeah.
Well certified will do as much as I can all day long, every day, to do it right. But it runs down to you. And I got some friends that are fellow alum for UMSL, and they told me you're well certified, baby. You got well certified already.
It's they're the Gedemeyers and Ruth, the names that we had spoken about earlier. I mean, I was able to meet with all of them before the season, and they laid obviously an incredible foundation for the program. Back in the early '80s. Recently had a talk with Coach Ken Hudson as well, who followed our run, and I mean, it just means so much that the early pioneers for women's soccer, not just I wouldn't say just UMSL, but in the country itself. That they, were out at their matches, supporting and watching the team. Some 30 years later, I mean, it means so much to me as the coach and to our student athletes. It's really cool.
Yeah, and the St. Louis Soccer Hall of Fame roll out the red carpet for those above mentioned and other UMSL grads to go right in, man. So that's what you're. I guess you're All-American and others are walking in that shadow?
Yeah, Taylor Martin, quite the season with accolades, the conference defender of the year, the third-team All-American. She just was announced today, Coach Saida, academic All-American second team. Taylor is achieving things that haven't been done, I think, since the mid-'90s here. It was a historic season for her as well as the entire team and the entire program. But of course, it feels so good to have players like Taylor recognized on the national stage because they work and commit so much of their time to their success both on and off the field in the classroom. It's they deserve all the credit. Right
on. And it's sometimes, Coach, it's the best coaching you can do is step out of the way and let the tide take it way.
Yes, it's actually a big philosophy of mine. As a coach, I really believe in servant leadership and lifting the group up. I don't view myself as, okay, I'm the head honcho and everyone else is below me, but that we're all in this together. And this season was certainly a season of growth. It didn't start. We didn't make the Elite Eight in the first few games, so we actually lost several of our first few matches with a new coach, new coaching staff, me getting to know them getting to know me, and us all just kind of focusing on growing together and being proud of the effort that we're putting in each day and trusting the process. I know those are cliche coaching terms, but I feel like with this UMSL team this year, it so much was about trust and belief and connection and energy, and that's what I feel like really drove every single day that allowed us to get better and better and play our best soccer in November and thankfully into December and have the historic season that we did.
Well, Coach, they knew what they were talking about. because I'm going to whale certify you, man. Just what you just said, all that stuff, man. That rang up the whole 9 yards, man. You're authentically whale certified.
It sounds like that's quite the honor. I will accept that with great dignity.
Right on, man. Right on. You come from an undisclosed location. Can you give us a little background and see how you came here to the Show Me State and
Yeah, most recently I was on the staff at University of Denver with working under Julian Stitch as head coach there. I had done 2 seasons in that role at Denver and in the Summit League, and had an opportunity there to really learn and grow a lot from a former professional player. Stitch also coached professionally, and so I felt like I really was able to grow tactically as a tactician. And at the Division I level, you really get to focus more on soccer. Before University of Denver, I was in Billings, Montana for 9 years at a D2 school, MSU Billings. Had started there as an assistant coach, and after 3 seasons in that role, the head coaching position opened up, and fortunately I was named head coach back in 2017, and really learned and had to grow a tremendous amount in a short amount of time there, and really feel like my experiences at MSUB, as well as my experiences and learnings at Denver, I really leaned into that this year with this UMSL team. But originally I am from the DC area, played club soccer, and really grew up in North Carolina. We moved to North Carolina when I was younger for my dad's work, and so that's really where I started to fall in love with the game, and played Division III soccer at Frostburg State in Western Maryland, and then started my coaching career pretty much as soon as my senior season eligibility was done. And one thing, Kevin, that I'm proud of is having coached. I started off as a high school boys soccer coach, and then coached club, and then to Division III and Division II, and then up to Division I, and really have fallen in love with Division II and the kind of life and the balance. When you're working with D2 student athletes, you're working with a very competitive athlete, just like a Division I player. However, they might be a little bit more focused at the D2 level on their academics, life outside of the sport, and kind of the whole package, which is something that I have always really enjoyed about coaching at NCAA Division II.
Magnificent. And, St. Louis is not going to, have those Rocky Mountain highs, but, but we'll treat you so many different ways. You're bound to like one of them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the love that I have gotten from the St. Louis community, the UMSL community, our players, our parent group. I mean, I am very blessed to be here in the original Soccer City, USA. I've learned a lot about the history of St. Louis soccer, the success of UMSL this year, partnered with the success of WashU and on the women's side winning a national championship, the SLU men going to the Final Four. I mean, it was really cool for our program, to be kind of side by side with these other great programs, these other great coaches and great players. As St. Louis soccer really had a great year in college soccer.
Right, but under full disclosure, I want you to lead the way, Coach. In 2026, you're going to lead the way, baby.
Yeah, I will. I'll keep trying. We'll keep working, and we will stay true to playing with joy and playing with intensity, and making sure that we're bringing in good human beings into our program that are obviously good players, but that are going to buy in and be part of a very special thing that I feel like we're building here at UMSL. Man,
I just got goosebumps. You said that word that picked up on it about the joy of playing. Mm-hmm. And it's so many times, the joy of playing is on the face of a 10-year-old girl, but then they get a little older, they stop having that joy, the expressions of joy. And I really, truly believe that you're going to achieve that. Each on the bench, they're not on the bench, they're just, waiting to get in. They're just temporary. But they are players. And that whole thing of being and having so much joy, just a joy to be able to that I know that they the woman got open. She knows that she's 3-1 with her teammate. She gets the pass, and she knows where she's going with the ball, and it's going to be either a shot on frame or a goal. Yeah, and it's just that's the joy of it. And you seem to have that joy of playing. It's not like a marketing tool. It's really you, huh?
Hmm. Yeah. I have to remind myself because, of course, it gets stressful, and we're all very competitive and we want to win. But I do remind myself. My wife helps me with this as well. It's like I get to coach college soccer for a living, and so showing up every day. And coming with good energy and positivity and joy is it doesn't mean that everything is going to be rainbows and skittles, of course.
Right.
Really learned a lot this year. We had some difficult losses, like I mentioned at the start of the year. We had a difficult loss mid-season to Illinois Springfield after a big win at home against McKendree, and then we got bounced in the first round of the GLVC tournament as the number 1 seed, losing to S&T as the 8th seed. Those are moments that we have to still find the joy in. It doesn't mean we're celebrating those losses, of course, but I think actually now that the season is over and we see how we learned and rebounded from those losses, like we need those difficult moments just as much as we need the high moments. And I think playing with joy is trying to remove the fear of failure. I think that club soccer, even high school soccer nowadays, has become so much like a job for even 10, 11, 12-year-olds. They have to be in private training. They have to be doing this. They're falling behind if they're not doing this. And I think we rob the players of their imagination and just going into the backyard and just playing, like just go outside and just go with the ball and just have fun with the ball. And I think that is something that with this UMSL team this year that we really spoke about is just coming in and being our authentic self, knowing that we're going to make mistakes. I always tell the players, I'm a human being just like you guys are. I'm not every decision that I'm going to make this season is going to be the right one. And I recognize and understand that. And I'm not going to be afraid to take ownership if I make a poor coaching decision, just like I'm trying to showcase to them that they should take ownership too when they make mistakes, that no mistake is life defining, and that we learn and grow in these moments, and it helps us, propel forward. And I think that's what playing with joy is all about. It's being present. It's being excited to be around your teammates and your coaching staff and having fun while we're learning and trying to compete at a very high level.
Right on, man. Hey, I got to introduce you. I'm going to send it out. This Chris Kinney, who's the women's coach, girls coach over at Visitation Academy. Every year he has a round table with the coaches, the women coaches in the area from all the divisions and junior high and junior college and so forth. And, UMSL hasn't been represented of late. But I think you're the guy, man. You come on board to be able to give the girls and their parents the real story of how to be recruited, what you're looking for, what you got to bring to the table, and and so that's always a fun way to get acquainted with people, and
yeah, really. I would love that.
All right, I'll pass it on to them. And why you're whale certified, not every coach there has been whale certified, so you may be a shiny star there.
That's awesome. I would look forward to that and an opportunity to connect with Chris. And you said something there, Kevin, about the recruiting process and the education piece behind it, because I do think so many parents and players are I don't want to say uneducated, but they're unaware of all the different things that coaches, look for and need in teams, and would be happy to connect and be a part of that. That would be great.
Magnificent. You got 10 more minutes with me?
Yeah, of course.
All right, then. So, Stephen, talk about that recruiting now. Should a girl that's looking forward to, going out and playing at UMSL, would she be advised to wait until after Santa Claus, or is there just start today, tomorrow, or maybe yesterday? Is that when would you suggest all the interest comes to UMSL?
Yeah, I think any time is good. I mean, obviously coaches will take and try to take breaks as much as possible around the holidays, but players that are able to email us, we receive those emails, we vet them, we go through them. Hopefully players are attaching some form of film, whether it's a highlight. I think highlight tapes being 3 to 5 minutes long are always good, and being able to kind of see a player before potentially seeing them out on the field. I know we've got high school season starting here, as spring gets rolling, and that will be a great recruiting piece for us, trying to get out to as many local games as possible, because I know high school soccer here has some very, very talented players. So I always encourage players to reach out and to follow up if they don't hear back from us immediately, and not to get discouraged. It can be very difficult in season to respond to all the emails. We do get them all. We sort them, and so I would encourage players to continue to reach out as we are moving towards the new calendar year. We're looking at hosting some ID camps on our campus, which will be a great opportunity for recruits to come in and maybe meet some members of the team, get trained by the coaching staff. They get to interact with us on the field, and I think that's a great tool for players to showcase themselves. It's hard for us, of course, to always get out to all the events, whether they're local or on the other side of the state in Kansas City or across the nation. It can be difficult to make all the events, of course. So an ID camp is a great opportunity for players to come to campus, get to see what UMSL is about, train at our facilities, get a campus tour, like I said, meet some of the players, get coached by us, and see if it could be a good fit.
All right, then. So would they be best suited to put in on the search UMSL and go to the soccer and get your email and do the is that the best way?
Yeah. I think going to the UMSL Tritons website and either look in the staff directory, or if you go to the roster, you'll see our page there. And obviously, social media has become quite a tool that players use as well, whether that's Instagram or Twitter. We receive correspondence from players in those platforms as well. And but yeah, I think finding an email on the website should be relatively easy, hopefully, for most tech savvy kids these days.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm involved with the St. Louis High School Champions League on the girls' side, and I'm sorry I couldn't get Maddie for you, but there's others out there, to help you out, to say you're open for business.
Yeah, I've heard about the Champions League. I met Greg this summer over at St. Dominic. He invited me out to camp
Right.
when I out here and told me all about it. So I'm excited to see some high quality soccer. I think that's so awesome that it brings teams together that might not typically play because of the different divisions. Because there are some smaller schools that are certainly capable of going toe to toe with some of the quote unquote bigger public schools. So I'm excited. I'm very excited for the high school season to start. I mean, like I told you, I started my career as a high school soccer coach, and I think sometimes high school soccer can get a bad rap from other college coaches, but I think it's such a great tool to see players representing their school, playing under the lights. Oftentimes, better players on the high school team will take on leadership roles within their group, and I just think it's there's nothing like high school soccer, and I think every player should play high school soccer because I think it teaches so much.
Wow, man. Peeling the onion, going from color down to whaling, that's one thing. I'm going to bite into that onion, man. You're saying the right stuff.
I believe it. It's the truth, at least for me it is.
That's right. So here it goes, is that it's pardon, it's a custom here at Wales Certified to say, hey, Stephen, Coach, whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to for as long as you want to say it for. This is your time.
Okay, let's see here. I think for me, I just cannot stop singing the praises of our student athletes. I mean, I think every coach is biased, right, and they're going to love their kids, but these players this year were so open-minded to a new coach and a new staff coming in, and every challenge that we raised to them, whether that was coming from us as a staff or just the season that presented itself, they came back with such resilience. Every setback, we came back stronger, and I think it just speaks so much about the character of those players. They really, really, like I said, bought in and really trusted early on what we were doing, and they're just a joy to be around. They make coaching fun and make coaching feel the way that it should, and it's such a good connection that our program has. And the words, again, I've used them on this podcast, but joy, intensity, connection, and energy, I think those were the driving forces of the UMSL season, and allowed us to be a 7 seed overall and make it to the Elite 8 and win some really big games. And again, what I'm most proud of is we played our most confident soccer at the end of the year in the NCAA tournament, where a lot of teams can tense up. You know, if you lose, your season's done. And for this UMSL group, they showed their character and their personality in every single one of our knockout round games, and had a historic season and did some things that have not been done before, or have not been done in a very long time in our program. And our student athletes deserve so much credit because they're so talented. But better than their talent on the field is they're just good kids, and they're good human beings, and they enjoy each other and being around each other, and it made each day such a blessing.
Well, I feel the universe making me. And the 2025 UMSL women's soccer team is in the Hall of Fame at Wales Certified.
Thank you, Kevin. Sorry, you're making me cough over here.
Oh, yeah, man. You should be able to pass that on to the girls, to the women, and tell the ladies, Wales Certified is going to be around. If you want to get on a podcast, come on over.
That would be awesome.
All right, then. And, I'm a goalkeeper, so, talking goalkeeping would really be something, yeah. So that's, man, just everything you said is just so much. And I'm looking forward to part 2, I mean, you got it going on. So the best to you and the missus and the family for the Christmas time and the holiday season, and let's let your personality out, man. And yeah, and so the best to you and yours. Welcome to St. Louis, man.
Thank you, Kevin. I really, really appreciate it, and the platform again to speak about our program and our student athletes. And likewise, I hope you enjoy the holidays and get some downtime and some good rest and some good food as well.
All right, then, man. All right. So, almost anybody can be Wales Certified if you try, and you really you put the effort in, and it was a pleasure to Wales Certify you.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye now.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.